everyone. My name is Vernisa, and this is my podcast, Speak Up. Shout out to my new listeners out there. For those of you that don't know, the mission statement for this podcast is we will use our voices to motivate people to overcome life challenges through self love and respect. So, this is the place for self love and respect. Please like and subscribe. I love to get new followers and tell your friends about SpeakUpJV. Before we get started, a quick shout out to my amazing sponsor. Shout out to Samuel Patrick Photography. You're unique, you're qualified, and you're ready for your next chapter. Stand out and make a long lasting impression with professional photography. Samuel Patrick will help you have the impact you desire while staying true to your values and visions. Book your discovery call today at www.samuelpatrick.photography. So make sure y'all tap in. Here's some of his work, by the way. Awesome photographer. So make sure you guys tap in. Now back into the episode. So I'm excited for today's episode. I actually have a very special guest today. I'm so excited to pick her brain, learn more about her story, learn more about her campaign. You guys give it up for Rhonda Haymon. Hi.
Hi, everyone. How are you doing?
Hey,
Wonderful to be a guest.
Welcome to SpeakUpJV.
That I know how to do.
I know, right? I know. I'm like, okay, here we go. Yeah. So I'm like ready to pick your brain, get some educational things, learn about your campaign. So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I grew up in the city of Gardena, and I went away to school at Tuskegee University, became a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, rooted in service and commitment. Then I went on to law school at Willamette, and I came back to help and serve the community.
Ooh.
And I'm ready to serve, running for judge for this year, 2026, in the primary, June 2nd, 2026. And I'm ready for us to all win with a vote for me for judge.
I am so here for that. So tell us a little bit more about your campaign. Anything you like to
Okay, so my campaign, because I've been a criminal defense attorney for 26 years. Mm-hmm. And literally, I've been in the courtroom with people, with some of the most unpopular people in the world's eye, in the courtroom's eye. And so I've been the safeguard to make sure that the law is followed. Mm-hmm. And I've been successful. And there's a resistance because, you know, the voters, we all voted for people to be in rehab, which we're calling restorative justice. We want people who have mental health illness to obtain treatment. We want people who have suffered from substance abuse disorder. We want them to have access to treatment programs as an opposite of being incarcerated. Because we want whole, healthy people coming out to the community. And so I'm a zealous advocate. I'm a law school professor, an adjunct professor at Southwestern Law School. I'm an adjunct professor of law. I've been there 6 years. So I'm also teaching lawyers how to go into the courtroom and represent their client and win. And what happened is I came up against resistance in the courtroom. And one of the things that happened is the judge held me in contempt. And she held me in contempt for interrupting her and for citing a matter that was not before the court. Well, this judge had been unjust, attempting to stop me from advocating for my clients. And so she held me in contempt. But the beautiful thing of it is that the state bar, my regulatory agency that governs me, did not take any action on me. So that was like my exoneration. And then that became the catalyst for me to run for judge. Mm-hmm. I said, there is too much injustice in this courtroom. And now they're coming after the lawyer who's trying to access the justice, to make sure that people have what the Constitution promises us to have. Mm-hmm. So I said, I've got to go to the bench to be the judge that's going to be strong, to hold the line on the Constitution. And if you look right now, there's a lot of media about what the Supreme Court is doing. Those are judges. Judges impact our lives in a major way. Mm-hmm. And that's why I have to be there so that I can hold the line and be a model for the judges to be strong and follow the law that the voters want.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm running. I'm running for healing in our community, transformation, so that there's not this distance between the judges and the community that they're actually serving. And I want progress.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, and I was looking at your website. I saw the word healing on there, like ready to heal. That's huge. So I love that. And what's something that you want voters to consider about your mission when placing their votes?
So when they go to the ballot, I want them to be thinking about change in their community.
Hmm.
I want them to think about, number one, the things that judges do. A judge determines whether you keep custody of your child or not.
Mm.
A judge determines whether, if you get into any form of trouble, whether you go home or not. They determine how much, if any, bail you are going to have to pay in order to be released. They determine whether or not you get evicted from your home or you get to remain in your home. Judges determine so many things that impact our life. So I want them to think, when they go to the ballot, what judge is going to stand for the truth? Then you're thinking about Rhonda Haymon. What judge is going to be willing to be unpopular? When we think about all of the protests that we've had in our communities, it came from a courtroom where a judge was presiding. And things went wrong because there's a pressure when you are a judge. And it may be unpopular what you're going to do. But I'm going to do the unpopular. I'm going to follow the law, and I'm going to do what's just. So if you want a just judge, someone who's willing to go against the grain of what everyone else has been doing, that have been stagnant and not progressing, like the voters have been progressing, the voters want change. I'm that change agent.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well said. So you guys, I hope you guys out there listening and taking notes and taking heed to Rhonda's message. So thank you so much for sharing. So I know you mentioned at Southwest Law School. You are a board member of the Women in Leadership program. So I love just hearing about mentorship and like other women uplifting women. So tell us about your experiences in the program.
Okay, so I am a board member of the Southwestern Law School. And what we met today, in fact, and there are women from every aspect of corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
And what we are doing is finding our place and oftentimes having to push our place to we talked about using our voice, to not allow ourselves to be set aside or overlooked because we are women. Because even in 2026, women are still fighting for their first. We just had Kamala Harris running for the presidency. There's yet to be a woman to run the United States of America. They've had it in other countries, but not in our country, the leader of the free world. So in that leadership program, it's a certificate program where any person can attend when they apply and learn the leadership skills to become the CEO of their own corporation, to become a partner in your law firm, to reach the top wherever you want to be, no matter what your dreams or goals are, to give you the tools to get there. And not only get there, but win big. As a professional, an entrepreneur, anything that, that skill set of winning and achieving. And it's also a support system, which is very important. So it helps you brainstorm and flesh out your ideas as to how can I become my best me? Who am I?
I love that. I'm so big on programs. So I'm glad that, a program like that exists for different people out there. So that's really huge. And who inspires you?
Well, I have a couple of inspirations. Well, my first inspiration is God. I really lean on him, especially during this campaign. It's not easy when you're trying to promote change and there's stagnation. People don't want to change because they have fear, right? So I am brave And I need that spiritual guide to keep me grounded and in my bravery, because it's often a lonely road ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look, I read a lot of Dr. Maya Angelou, because she doesn't hide her past and the upbringing that brought her to who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the book, I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what Dr. Maya Angelou talks about is that we're going to experience pain, but we cannot sit in that pain. What we have to do is we have to transform it into growth. Whatever we have experienced, we got to change it into growth.
Mm-hmm.
And from that growth, we go out and help other people. Because you hear a lot of success stories, or I just blew up one day, or I just made it one day. Well, that's interesting. But most of those people had people supporting them to be able to go on that road. But let's just say you don't have the role models around you. I look to reading, because the media is amazing, and it's a whole nother level. Some stuff is very interesting, but you can access anything that you want for self-growth. So when you ask me who inspires me, like I said, Dr. Maya Angelou. I look at Michelle Obama. Just when she's out in the community, she stays connected. She stays in touch with where people are now, not of the past. Just that progressive way of thinking that catapults us into the future. And those are the things that inspire me within people, is that growth. Let's be willing to grow and do something different.
I love that. And your answer definitely goes with today's episode topic. So yeah, it's so true. The growth, the pain, the wisdom that comes from it, and being able to pass that down. So I love that. And before we get into the episode, how can people support your campaign?
They can support by, number one, donations. And any amount is acceptable. And that's on my Instagram page, Rhonda Haymon for Judge, at Rhonda Haymon for Judge. And also join into the different social media sites, because I will be giving, and I have given, information about what judges do in our community, how they impact our community, and why it's so important to get out and vote, so that you can be a part of your community and making the decisions as to who sits in the court next to you. I live closest to the Compton Courthouse. There's no one that looks like me. So if you want someone, I grew up here. I'm not moving. I'm going to live in the community with my neighbors. I've been giving my number out as a deputy public defender for 26 years. People are like, oh, you give your number out? I sure do. I defended a person for murder around the corner from me. It was stressful, yes, because this was my real exact, in my local community neighbor. And so what did I do? It pulled more out of me and more. Not to say that I don't advocate for other people, but he's home now. So that vested interest in your local community, we got to go out and tell the people what we want. And that's by the vote. We can't stay stagnant. We can't keep appointing and representing and voting for the same people. You know, prosecutors have had a long run of being on the bench. And every endorsement meeting that I attend, people, the endorsers are asking us, well, the public has lost trust with the court. What's the answer? Choose something different. The prosecutors dominate the bench by 60%. You have to have a diversity of mindset. You can have people from the prosecutorial side. You need people from the defense side. You need people from the civil side, so that we can come together and make better decisions, because progress needs to occur and there needs to be improvement. Everyone has had contact potentially with having a ticket or something like that. And to help my campaign, I'm going to help you learn about these judges and why it's important to vote for your judges and come on out. Even when you don't think you're going to effectuate change, it's 50 plus one vote, not 1%. Your vote could be the difference between the person that sits on the bench and does not. So we got to support the candidates that you want. And that's through donations, and that's through following their websites and showing the people that this is who you want. This is who you want to be your next judge sitting in your courthouse.
Okay. Well said. Thank you for sharing. And y'all heard that. Those are ways to tap in. But you guys, tonight's episode in honor of Rhonda is titled Lead On. You know, I'm on with a great leader right now. So we're going to be talking about the importance of leading with a purpose. Let's get into the accept question of the day. So if you're out there listening, please comment. I always go back and read the comments. I'm going to go ahead and answer the accept question first, Rhonda, then I'm going to pass it to you. So the accept question of the day is, in your opinion, what makes a good leader? If I had to answer that, I would say somebody who is authentic and not ashamed of their story. I feel like there's like a confidence that comes with being a leader where, like, you know, the mistakes that you made, you learned from them, you're not afraid to share your story, and you're okay with like being a student first and admitting that you had to learn so you can be a leader. I think, you know, we have this notion that, you know, we hear the natural born leader, things like that, those phrases. But, you know, sometimes we take that notion a little too far, thinking that they never went through things or never were a student first or embraced certain things to become that leader. So that's my insight. What about you, Rhonda? In your opinion, what makes a good leader?
Well, I definitely would incorporate everything you've just said. Everything. The only thing that I would really add is that good leadership thinks beyond themselves. They think about the community, their family. You think about the head of a household. If you believe in those type of traditional things, the head of a household, when they go out to work, they're thinking about feeding their family. That's a leader. And also with regard to what I've done as a criminal defense attorney, every step that I took, every step that I made was to come back home and help my community. So I always had my community right in my peripheral, in my vision. So you got to be a visionary to see beyond what's already there. So you're thinking about the people and a visionary.
And I like that you brought up visionary because, yeah, it's all about leading with that purpose and knowing, like, you know, like you said, the impact beyond you. I think it's beautiful when somebody could pass down knowledge that came from like generations ago, and then it's still relevant in today's world. I think that's the power of wisdom. Just like, you know, like the Bible, for example, like how that just or everlasting can keep going. So I love that. And so, who was a mentor in your life that made a positive impact on you?
Well, I would start with my mother and my father. They've been married 60 years. And they taught me, my dad was in the military. He flew rescue missions as a medic in Vietnam.
Wow.
So he was going in and risking his life every day to save people. And I see that my mother and father, they showed me commitment and steadfastness to stay and work through problems and not just give up when things don't go your way. And they taught me the power of partnership, being able to work with other people to accomplish a common goal. So they definitely are some of my huge close mentors, for sure. And people that I look up to, and they've guided me on my path. And so from that, I also realized that when people don't have that, I could see how they need support from external people, from external sources. And that's what's made me so humble in being a criminal defense attorney, when I see that people haven't had the structure that I've had, experienced in my life. And I want to pour that in and invest that into them to help them go back out into society and be a better them.
That is so beautiful. I love that. That was a great answer. And you know, and I know we talked about being a student first. And I think one of the cool things about being a student first is you never know who you will learn from. And I think sometimes we put a notion on the age thing, right? Like just because someone's older than me, you can learn from somebody younger than you, somebody from that was raised differently than you. And I think that's the beauty of a true leader too, is like being open to different environments, you know, and seeing different things. Like I went to college at UC Santa Cruz, which is like up north, right? Whole different culture shock, like completely different from where I was born and raised. You know, I'm from SoCal, of course, but I think going to a different place and seeing people that were raised differently than me, it taught me different things that out of the perspective that we're always constantly used to, which is the same things that we see every single day. So That's really big.
Absolutely. It's that exposure. And, those are those opportunities to see different faces and how different people live. And it helps you grow and see how you can help them. I mean, yes, it's awesome. The power of opportunity. People underestimate what it really is. Right place, right time.
Right. I love that. Right place, right time. That's a good one. And not being like, closed off to things or closed minded. That's big.
No.
But you guys, it is now time for the tweet up segment. So y'all know I like to be on Twitter, X, whatever they want to call it. But something that I tweeted this week that goes with today's episode is real leaders embrace their setbacks as lessons for wisdom that can be passed on. So you guys, don't be ashamed of your setbacks. The best wisdom actually comes from the setback. I really love like listening to my grandparents speak. My elders, like they'll tell me the real authentic truth, things they went through, mistakes, but that makes the most powerful stories and the most powerful wisdom where I'm like, okay. And I think when someone's sugarcoating when they're trying to teach you, it's actually harder to learn the lesson that they're trying to teach you. So it's a big one. So I have a question for you. Has there been a setback in your life that you use as an example when passing down wisdom to others?
I would call it a setback. When I was held in contempt, it was painful. And it was painful when you're doing what's right. And the person who's supposed to be standing for justice does such an unjust thing. It made me see things very differently. So the setback becomes a comeback.
I like that.
And what you do is you don't fold and crumble. You gain more knowledge. You read more. And you invest your energy towards positive things to lead you towards success. So that's what I did. I ran against the judge because I believe what she did was unjust. Later for the state bar to say nothing to be done to you because nothing was done wrong. So they did not take action against me. And so in running for judge, I ran against her. I did very well in running against her. But it opened the door to, I've got to seek justice another way. And it's not retaliatory or anything of that nature. It just opened my eyes to, I've got to move from the position of a criminal defense attorney if I want the courtroom to be a place of fairness, where people come in where the lawyers can advocate and present their sides, and then there's a just ruling. But there's an imbalance in the system, and people don't like to talk about it. But that's when you love something, you can also talk about the negative aspects of it. And there is absolutely a pro prosecution in the criminal courts. And when you are a zealous advocate, you become someone who they think is a troublemaker, but you're really just doing your job. And that's what the Constitution wants us to do our job. And I'm committed to that. Just like I will be on the bench. I'll be committed to doing my job. And most importantly, because I've experienced the unfairness of the process, that will make me an even better judge, because I'll know how it feels for the lawyers coming before the court not to be able to advocate. So when you've experienced it, you become a better teacher also.
So it gave you those tools. And yes. I love that. And you made me just think of another point with being a leader. I feel like a true leader knows when something needs to be fixed and does something about it. So clapping for you for like seeing the loophole that you see, and you're like, I want to make a change in this area, and you're making steps towards it. So I love that.
And I didn't give up. I stayed on the course, and now I'm running again, and I'm running for everyone. Because I've gone and I've changed things in other courtrooms. And I know that I can do it on the bench. Make it better.
Make it better, huh? Like she after. I love it. Yeah, you guys, okay. It is now time for the Life Up segment. This is the Life Up segment. This is when I take an issue in today's word on related to the topic. So tonight's Life Up is feeling like you have to be perfect to be a good leader. and trying to teach people who aren't open to learning.
Mm.
These are really big ones. Because for one, we don't gotta be perfect, right? We just kind of talked about like, letting your flaws and setbacks kind of show. We kind of went into that. But trying to teach people who aren't open to learning, I think this is huge because sometimes when we're trying to teach people obviously how to love and we want to push them, but a person will eventually stop teaching you when you just you just really don't want to learn. And I think the best lessons come out of when those people are willing to learn and you're able to like really pass the message along to them.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Wholeheartedly, yeah. So any thoughts on the life of today or any solutions to how to fix it?
Well, I say that you never give up on it. You never give up on a person because you may not see the results of what you've taught them, but when you stay committed and on course to the exposing them to it, they can grow. But it's just a matter of never losing hope in someone. It may take them longer to come around, but I agree with you. You should not live your life flawless because a good leader, they lead with strength, but they let you, and when they make mistakes, they hold themselves accountable immediately. And that's to be respected. So even when you make mistakes, if you live in integrity and you're honest, they'll allow you, the people whom you're leading and who you're influencing will allow you to make those mistakes because a good leader, you gravitate toward them. Look at the former President Barack Obama. We loved him because you could tell he wanted the best for us as a country, and he grew as a president during those 8 years. We saw him grow, and he was you gravitate. So they'd be able to make some mistakes, but we'll love him anyway. I don't think he made any, by the way.
You're like, we're gonna go off the ones up there. but still,
just those small things that people will give you grace for when you're leading in integrity.
That's huge, and I love that you mentioned the don't give up on a person because like a true leader too has patience. That's another thing. Has patience. I feel like while everyone else is freaking out, if there's a chaotic situation, that leader is the one still like calm and patient, trying to figure it out. So that's big. What's an important lesson that being in a place of leadership has taught you?
That you really have to stand in your integrity.
It's big.
And that you have to be strong. Because there will be people who are jealous, who are envious, and who will try to stop you from your growth. So you've got to be strong in your position. And you've got to love what you're leading. Because if you don't love it, you'll give up on it. Because especially when, like, for instance, the things in the criminal justice systems and the courtrooms that I love the law and I want to see it better. And it'll make you, the things that you love will make you stronger also.
Yes.
So no matter what pitfalls come in your way, you don't allow it to stop you from growing. You continue on your path. You read more, you learn more, and you never give up. And you can apply those things to your life. Don't ever give up on your dreams. No matter how many no's you receive, you keep pushing forward. And it's just, that's the key. You don't stop. You don't allow fear to paralyze you. We all will experience some measures of fear. But we don't allow it to paralyze us. That's what makes us human. To have fear, but don't develop paralysis. You got to keep going.
I like that one. Okay, great examples. But you guys, it is now time for the Drink Up Water segment. So if you're out there listening, please pull out some water and drink some water. And I have a Drink Up Water fact for tonight.
I'm going to ask something.
Yeah, good. I would love to hear too. So this, in honor of your campaign, tonight's water fact is when When presenting during a presentation or campaign, always have a glass of water to hand. The most obvious benefit is hydration. A moist mouth and throat are vital when we are speaking for longer than usual. A dry mouth feels unpleasant and makes strange noises. A sip of water also gives us the opportunity to pause and allow our audience a moment of silence to absorb our message, according to msbexecutive.com. So I know you're doing a lot of speeches and you have to go. And so, yeah, you guys drink the water. But what did you want to add on?
Oh, can you add a fan moment to use the fan
Oh,
moment?
that's a good one. Fan moment. I'll take that. That's a good one. Yes. Okay, we'll take that. I know we got the lights on us. Fan moment. Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to do those, huh? When those lights are on you. And I'm already knowing his ring light gets me. But back to the episode. So, what's a piece of advice you would give to an aspiring law student?
What I would give to an aspiring law student is what I tell my students is, first things first, we all have our own levels of intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Courage. Secondarily, before I do anything, I always fill out this form that I have, and it's called Who Am I?
Mm-hmm.
And it asks you, when no one's looking, what do you do? Describe yourself. So, two major things: have courage and grow in your own identity as you go through law school. I say any student from kindergarten, elementary, when they'll understand it differently, but be constantly strengthening who you are, because there will be people who try to tell you who you are and who will not be honest about who you are. And they'll challenge you. And we just have to keep growing that inner strength, which will make us be courageous.
Woo, what a beautiful answer. I'm taking notes on that one. Hope y'all taking notes out there. Okay, that was great. But you guys, it is now time for the show up segment. This is the show up segment. So if you're out there listening, please comment. How did you show up for yourself this week? So I'll go ahead and answer first. How did I show up for myself this week? So I told myself the theme of April so far is to embrace my happiness. So, I am a very jolly, happy person, but sometimes I let things kind of mess with it, or like let this small moment take away the full joy. So I told myself I'm unapologetically soaking in that happiness and just enjoying it. So that's kind of like my little way I showed up for myself this week, and actually worked. It allowed me to be really mindful with the family time I spent this weekend, and yeah, just to get my mind right. So what about you? How did you show up for yourself this week?
Well, I showed up for myself through meditation,
Okay.
because a lot of times I get too busy and I
Yeah.
don't meditate like I want to.
Mhm.
And I definitely applied it in my life, because it can be stressful, and I believe in meditation, and we need that quiet time to ourselves, just to allow our mind to not be focused on anything but being centered. So yeah, meditation.
Okay, great answer. And speaking of meditation, I was actually just about to say a good leader is able to pour back into themselves as well. Because I feel like you can't lead on E. Only so much you can do with your tank on E. Like, please refill yourself first, especially if you're in a leader role. You're doing something very important. You're a boss, anything, you have to pour into yourself first. So I know you just mentioned meditation, but what's another one of your favorite ways to pour back into yourself, especially with being so busy?
Well, I really love being with my family and my
I
friends,
like that.
and going outside, being outside at brunch. I love a good Sunday
Oh,
brunch.
yeah.
I love a good Sunday brunch.
Yes.
Just being around people and laughing and having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
That is everything.
And that word, it really recharges you, especially being around the people that that you love, and it's a good feeling. So
And my daughter loves it.
Oh.
I have one child, and so it's our chance. I get to see her smile and do all and be happy to be present. So, and because we love being near the beach, being in the water, so it's perfect.
Perfect. Okay, that's a great answer. I like that one. One of my faves as well. So I love to ask all my guests a fun question. So your fun question for today is, it could be, if you have an example, what's the funniest thing about being a part of a campaign? So anything funny that's happened, or an embarrassing moment, or just something that sticks to you,
The funniest thing about being in a campaign is you send out a picture of your hair one way, and when you come back, they're like, "Wait a minute, are you the same person?"
I love
I
that's
said,
a great
"You're not
answer.
personal. I'm the same person."
You're like, it's me. Okay, I like that. That was a cute answer. You're like,
They're
it's
like, "Wait a
me.
minute, did you change?" Because people don't want to talk about your hair, but they're like, "Wait, you don't look quite the same."
Right. You're like, look, I'm flying both. This is me. I like that. Okay, great answer. That's actually one of my favorite answers to the fun question. That was great. So, what's an educational fact about the impact of being a judge that you like to share? It could be about the process of it or the impact, anything along those, anything you would just like to share that people don't know or.
An educational fact is this:
Mhm,
that if you live in the Los Angeles County area, you can
mhm,
vote. Judges are not voted on by district, by city.
mhm,
If you live in Los Angeles County, if
mhm,
your city is included in Los Angeles County,
mhm,
you can vote. A lot of
mhm.
people don't know that it's not your city or your district, is if the whole area of Los Angeles County, what is, I think it's like 11.1 million or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're eligible to vote.
Mhm. Okay, that was a good one because I think a lot of people did not know that. So I will take it. But you guys, it is now time for the wrap up segment. How does this relate to self love? Self love is loving yourself enough to be the best leader that you can be. To be able to love your community, love your environment, love the people who are like watching you. I'm the oldest of my siblings, and I take pride in being a leader for them. And the more I love on myself, that's me actually showing love to them as well because they're watching what I do. So setting that example. So it goes the same way with your community. The more you love on yourself and you have the confidence, you're actually spreading that to whoever's watching what you do. So, how do you practice self love?
So also too, when you doing the self-love thing, you when you feel good, you just kind of exude that out.
Yeah,
So I practice self-love with an esthetician because I'm working on this skin.
I like that. Yes, glowing
I'm working
skin.
on this skin. I'm all for it.
Hmm.
The steam, everything. Just trying to get my skin back together. And so I love those type of outings, and where that's the skin. I'm trying to get that back.
Hmm. Look, that's a great answer. Like taking care of our skin, being healthy. And last question I like to ask all my guests: what do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for being the reason why something good happens in someone's life.
Mm, I love that. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we'll
do.
take that. That was a strong, short answer, but it was strong. I love that. Okay, and yes, you are already out there doing it. And remember, you guys, a real leader isn't afraid of growth and be teachable. Be teachable. But Rhonda, I really appreciate you coming on here, sharing your story, talking more about your campaign. But before we go, can you shout your information out? Where people find you, where people donate, all that again, for the listeners?
Yes, so you can find me at www.rhondahayman number 4 judge.com and at Rhonda Haymon for Judge. And we welcome all of your donations because every dime will be spent towards progress, healing, transformation, and progress. Let the healing begin.
Oh, that was well said. I love it. I love it. Make sure you guys tap in with the page and donate and vote. And you guys, thank you guys for tuning in to another wonderful episode of Speak Up JV. I will be back soon with another episode. Tell your friends to follow at Speak Up JV. My personal is at Vernice. I'm on Twitter, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Instagram, all of it. Love you guys. Have a great week.
Thank you.